Welcome back for more review videos for chapter 3. We're starting with number 11. It says find out the zeros, real and non-real. Okay. So my possibilities for real are plus or minus 3 and plus or minus 1 because the leading coefficient is 1. So I just have factors of 3. So if 1 is a factor, then if I put 1 in, I will get 0. So 1 minus 8 plus 4 plus 3 is 0. Yay. So 1 is a 0. And so I can use my synthetic division to help me find the others. And remember, my coefficients, there is no x cubed term, so I have to use 0. Okay, so I bring down my 1, and I multiply and get 1, I get 1, 1, and negative 7, and negative 7 is a negative 3, and then negative 3 is 0. Okay, so that's one of them. And then I have an even number of zeros total. And so I've got either 3 or 1 real. So let's see if a negative 1. If I put a negative 1, that goes to 1. If I put a negative 1, that goes to 8. If I put a negative 1, no. So that will not be 0. What about if I put in 3? Let's try 3 out of here. So I'm going to bring these down. So that's 1. 3 times 1 is 3. I get 4. 3 times 4 is 12. I get 5. 3 times 5 is 15. I get 12. No, that's not going to work. What about a negative 3? I'm just going to redo it with a negative 3. I would get a negative 2. I would get a 6. That would give me a negative 1. And I would get a positive 3. And that would give me 0. Yay. So x equal to a negative 3 is a 0. And then I'm left with x squared minus 2x minus 1. And that I'm going to have to use quadratic formula to solve here. So x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. 2, 1. So x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 plus 4 over 2. So that's 2 plus or minus the square root of 8 over 2. And that's 2 plus or minus the square root of 8 is really 2 times the square root of 2 over 2. And so this simplifies, the 2's cancel, and I have 1 plus or minus the square root of 2. Okay. So those are my 4. X equal to 1, x equal to negative 3, and then one plus or minus the square root of 2. Those are my 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now number 12 has us looking at complex numbers. It says perform the independent operations and write your answer in the form of a plus bi. So I'm combining, I'm adding here or subtracting really. So it's 7 plus 5i minus 3 plus 4i. 7 minus 3 is 4 plus 9i. And then we're multiplying 2 binomials here. So we get a negative 15 minus 20i And then negative 6i plus 8i squared. Then I'm going to combine like terms. Negative 15 minus 26i minus 8. And then a negative 15 and negative 8 is a negative 23 minus 26i. And then 4 minus I over 2 plus 3i. So I'm going to multiply by the conjugate here. To rationalize this. So on top, we're going to FOIL. We've got 8 minus 12i minus 2i plus 3i squared over 4 minus 6i plus 6i minus 9i squared. 8 minus 14i minus 3 over, those cancel, 4 plus 9. So we have 5 minus 14i over 13. Those are my final answers. Let's see. This one is, oh, a negative 15 and plus another 23. This should have been a negative 20i, and it's a plus 6. So that should have been a negative 14i. So this should be a negative 23 minus 14i. You might have already caught it. Good job. I'm glad I re-looked at that. Okay. Let's look at number 13. It says find all solutions, real or complex. Okay. It's a quadratic, and so I can't factor that. So I'm going to just use my quadratic equation. So the opposite of b plus or minus b squared minus 4 times a times c over 2a. So a negative 4 plus or minus the square root of a negative 4 over 2. So a negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 is 2, and then I over 2. And then my 2 can cancel into both, so I've got a negative 2 plus or minus I. Should be my roots. Okay. Touch me back for the last video.